It's December, and you know what that means. It's time for my holiday hat. What up, viewers? What up, what up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, December 2nd, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. And while it might have been unheard of in previous years, there's quite a lot going on here now that we're in December. So let's start off with the Callisto Protocol. The last big AAA game of the year is finally here. It's currently sitting at a 76 Metacritic. And I know that me and the team and everyone I've worked with has worked really hard to bring the Callisto Protocol to fans out there everywhere. So I'm excited for them to play. I'm excited to play myself. It's not typically a game I've played because I wasn't a big, I wouldn't say I'm not a fan of the Dead Space series. I just never played them. So I've been excited to jump in to kind of get that Dead Space feel. And I know that there have been a lot of people working hard on it. Including myself. So I hope that people who pick it up enjoy it, and then I hope that there are people out there are as excited to get to play it as I am. But yeah, that's it for the Callisto Protocol. Moving on to other releases here in December. Marvel's Midnight Suns also launches today with an 83 Metacritic, and from what I've read of the reviews, it's got a very heartfelt story, something that they seem to be able to do when it's not a multiplayer grind fest like in Marvel Avengers. I haven't read too much about how the combat feels. I know it's for Axis, so you're going to have that kind of XCOM feel to it. And the card playing, I always thought was going to be like a mixed bag. But currently, it sounds like it's doing pretty well, and the story is going to be kind of what anchors people to it, which I think people have kind of wanted a heartfelt Marvel story outside of even in the movies. They haven't been that like grounded. So hopefully we get some pretty cool stories out of it, and I eventually pick this up. Although I've got quite a backlog to get through before I probably pick this one up. Moving right along to another game that not officially a December release because it launched on November 30th. But we're going to count it in like a, end of year release, just like the rest of them. But what I'm talking about is Darktide. Warhammer 40k Darktide launched this week. It is Left 4 Dead, but 40k, brought to you by the same developers who have done the Vermintide games by Fat Shark. So Vermintide 1 and 2 were Warhammer fantasy-based, kind of Left 4 Dead style hordes of enemies. And now we've got Darktide, where you have 40k, sci-fi stuff coming at you. And I have been playing this game. I didn't pick it up in the open beta that's been running basically for this latter half of November. But I did pick it up, and I've been playing with my friends. It's currently at a 75 Metacritic, so it is a little bit rough around the edges. I've had 2 crashes when I played on launch day. But I've been able to get the social menu working. I've had friends jump in, and I've actually, for once, played games without friends online. There's a lot to grind to. You want to build up your character and unlock new abilities, and that has felt compelling to me. And just running around and shooting stuff feels really good. So I've been enjoying my time with Darktide. I've been playing on PC, so that's the opinions you're getting from me. I don't know how optimized it is for console. I know that my PC does rev up every time I load it up because it just looks really good. If you can run it at high performance, the game does look really good and is very immersive. I don't usually throw that word around very often, but running around and playing an Imperial Guardsman, fighting off the hordes of chaotic enemies, I've been enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to playing it all throughout this month, hopefully with a 4-stack of friends. Although the character class distribution is not evenly proportioned. You won't see very many of the big old Ogren, even though I figured they would have been a crowd favorite. But yeah, I'm enjoying Darktide. Let me know if you pick it up down below and what you think of it. We got to know a little bit more about Overwatch 2's Season 2, and the new hero Ramatra. Ramatra is an angry robot that's going to be a tank. I don't I didn't get too much from like the character reveal of like how his abilities will work. He casts out a shield wall, which seems to block, which seems like a kind of a go-to for Overwatch tanks. So that didn't really like catch my eye, but like it seems like he can pull flying enemies out of the sky, which seems like a pretty powerful ability. And there's a couple other things. There's probably hidden nuances that I don't quite know about because I'm not too familiar with Overwatch, having only started playing when Overwatch 2 launched. The season 2 will have a kind of Greek pantheon feel to it. So there's like a Zeus skin and a Mercury skin for Lucio. So a lot of really cool skins from the Greek pantheon. I think it's almost like a little nostalgic that they're doing Greek pantheon because Norse mythology is so in right now. And last but not least, they're also bringing back some new maps, or they're rotating in old maps. From what I understand, like these are maps that already existed, and now they're just bringing them back. I don't know why maps are on kind of a rotational feel. Maybe for a little bit of exclusivity. I don't understand, but yeah, they're rotating in 2 new maps. So there'll be some maps you're familiar with if you remember back to Overwatch 1. But they'll be new to me because I didn't play Overwatch 1. So I'm excited to kind of see what kind of new maps and what kind of different game modes that I can play on those new maps. And hopefully they figure out the pricing. I'm a little discouraged to buy into the game because the pricing was a little bit aggressive for the last season. How quickly I can earn progress on my battle pass seemed very, very slow. Having played 2 or 3 times a week, I only got to like level 25 or so on my battle pass, which seems very slow to me. And I don't think I'm not even sure how many credits I earned throughout that time, and that'd be a good litmus test as well. So hopefully they're a little bit more liberal with how many points and how much progress I can get on that battle pass, because I do like the Greek Pantheon skins that I saw in the trailer, which I will have down below in the description. Moving right along, now that James Gunn, the director and writer of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, is helming the DC is at the helm of DC, there will now be a shared universe within their video game universe, which is pretty exciting. I know that DC games in the past have wanted to probably be part of maybe the Snyderverse or something like that. So having them kind of be involved and have DC kind of be this kind of meta narrative is a pretty big step, and I'm excited for it. I'm just a little sad that recently released Gotham Knights and upcoming Suicide Squad will probably not be included in this kind of shared vision universe. So I think that's probably throwing people through a few loops. But yeah, getting the full multi-platform experience with your DC should be a pretty fun thing to do, and excited to see games included in that vision, which is exciting. Moving right along, the quote-unquote upcoming Witcher remake, the remake of the first Witcher game, which won't be, the reason I say upcoming is it won't be out until The Witcher 4 is out, which that's not going to be for another decade or so. So a heavy emphasis on quote-unquote upcoming. But it will be a fully realized remake with an open world. So rather than the way that the first 2 Witcher games were played, which were very linear through a linear story, they're going the Witcher 3 route where they're opening it up, and hopefully they have just as much as you could do in Witcher 3. Hopefully they have something like that in the Witcher 1 remake. And for those of us who didn't play the original Witcher games, I can go back and experience that story for the first time in this remake. But that'll be another decade away, so I don't have to worry about it too soon. Uncle Gabe Newell is giving away some Steam Decks at the Game Awards this year. Apparently giving away one a minute, which in a Jeff Keighley with a Jeff Keighley presentation is quite a lot, because those tend to run on and on and on. I think last year the Game Awards clocked in at like 3 or 4 hours. So that could be 200 to 300 Steam Decks given away over that time. But Gabe is trying to get people to watch on Steam TV, which makes me kind of think, are they trying to establish their own platform, or what's going on there. So you can't get it just by watching Twitch. You have to watch it on this specialized platform. So I wonder what Gabe Newell is doing with Steam TV. But if you want to know any more information, I'll have a link down to the article down below. In celebration for Darktide's launch, they're also launching another consumer product. If you've ever wondered what the 41st millennia will smell like, you won't have to worry. You don't have to wonder too much longer, because you can pre-order 40K scented candles. So Darktide takes place on this one planet that's pretty grimy and mucky and gross, and you can pre-purchase a $20 or so scented candle that'll smell like that planet. Which, yeah, if you want to smell a 40K planet, you can go ahead and do that. I've looked into the reason I know the price. I've looked into what it costs and how to get it. So something I'm potentially interested in as a big fan of the 40K universe. But yeah, I don't know that it will smell particularly well. But maybe it'll smell better than a locker room or a bathroom or any of that kind of stuff. So hopefully it does. Although there's a lot of Nurgle involved, so maybe it won't. But I'm excited for that as well. Moving right along, besides all the games launching this week, there is still a slew of games coming out in the month of December. So GameSpot compiled a list, and I'll have a link down below to that. Also, that we didn't talk about the Need for Speed game, Unbound, that launched this week. Hello Neighbor also launches today. Kenseed, a Stardew Valley-like, also launches next week. And I'm excited for 2 weeks from now when Rick and Morty can yell at me in High on Life, Justin Roiland's shooter game that's coming out to Game Pass with the guns that talk to you. So yeah, I'm just kind of excited to hear Rick and Morty kind of yelling at me. I'm looking to veg out after a very stressful year and just play some High on Life throughout the holidays. So and I think it'll be on Game Pass, so I'm looking forward to not having to pay for that either, because I haven't been paying for Game Pass. So looking to use that to play. Another way you can play Darktide, but hashtag not sponsored. Last but not least, we got a little bit more information about the Fallout TV show, which means I have to talk about it as one of the biggest Bethesda fans out there. The Fallout TV show will be an original story. We're not rehashing. It sounds like they're not rehashing the plot of any of the video games, the previous video games, which is good to know. I'm wondering if that will mean that it is set in an original location, because you got a handful of locations that have a very prominent focus. The first couple games were focused on the western side of the U.S. The third game was focused on the eastern seaboard. You got New Vegas set in the Midwest. So it'll be interesting where they set the game, and that's kind of where my mind's been wandering now that I know it's going to be an original story. We've been to Alaska, we've been to Arizona, a lot of the southwest states we've been to. I'm curious, maybe it's set in Canada. I know a lot of filming is done in Canada, so if they just said it's in Canada, that'd be kind of cool. Although they'll probably be shooting in a desert somewhere, so maybe it's not even set in North America. Maybe we're gonna go across the pond. I know that the Fallout London fan DLC was successful, so they could put it anywhere. But that's just kind of what I'm speculating on now that I know this original story piece of information. So let me know what you think down below in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you do, please follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye.